I'm going to introduce Tammy Hanstead. She has an absolutely positive dog training that she does on the side from her regular full-time job. So Tammy's been teaching families on how to train their dogs in manners, agility, disc, and tricks in Kenora since 2014 using a positive training method. In 2011, Tammy started volunteering with Therapeutic Paws of Canada, dog therapy in Southern Ontario with their golden retriever, Havoc. Tammy then moved back home to Kenora in 2015, where Havoc started working in the school system, making a difference in the lives of children and staff members. And she's been volunteering with the Dogs Life Training Network as a trainer since 2013. Tammy and a group of local volunteers visited residents at Pinecrest and Wigwas, as well as put on entertaining shows for the residents. Tammy also has a border collie, Zip, who starred in a cameo role as Sandy in Twilight's theater production of Annie. And just a little personal note, Steve and I attended with our Ridge, our dog, Tammy's classes a little while ago, and he was a handful. And
it's great.
It's been helpful, so thank you. He still does, there's one train where you get the dog to come up to your legs and he sits and he looks up at you, kind of a control, but he doesn't do it just for the control, he just goes through your legs. So
it's fun. Look out.
Yeah,
when you're doing dishes, all of a sudden you have a
he's
dog.
There.
Yeah.
So everybody's Kenny.
Thank you. Hi everyone. Thank you very much for having me here today. And I have a couple of friends that came along with me. I have Jen and her pup P2, and Jan and her pup Teddy, and they're both in training to visit. They will be certified therapy dogs probably in a half a year or so, but they're training for that, and they love to visit. So if you'd like them to come around and say hello while I'm presenting, that's great, because they love to do that. So if you like dogs, they'll come around and say hello. So thank you very much for having us here today for the Therapeutic Paws of Canada presentation. I'm just gonna put this down. So my name is Tammy Hanstead. I was born and raised in Kenora. I moved away for a few years and then I came back home here. I'm very happy to be back home. I work at Firefly as the executive assistant during the day, and in the evenings and weekends I train families to train their dogs, and I also compete in dog sports. So I travel to compete in dog sports, agility and disc. And also I volunteer at the nursing homes, so Pinecrest and Wigwas Senior and Elder Care. I volunteer there. We bring dogs in to visit residents. We do parades. At Christmas time, we did a Christmas parade where we dressed up, we had Christmas music, and we go down the halls and folks come out of their rooms to say hello. It's just amazing. And so then we have bi-weekly visits at Pinecrest as well as Wigwas. So it's a wonderful thing. I love it. I absolutely love that. And I volunteer for It's a Dog's Life as their trainer, and I've also fostered a few dogs, quite a few dogs. And so my 3 dogs, I should just show you here. So these are my 3. I have Hitch, he's my newest border collie. They're all rescues. Elsie in the middle is from It's a Dog's Life. And Zippy, she's from rescued the same as Hitch, Border Collie Rescue. And so they're my buddies, and we do all sorts of things together, and we love to volunteer and share them. So Zippy, she over here on the right, she is the dog that was in Annie, and it was great. She did a great job. So my golden retriever Havoc and I, we were certified back in 2011 with Therapeutic Paws of Canada, and that's where we started volunteering in nursing homes. And then I moved back home here to Kenora in 2013, and he started working in St. Louis School as the school dog. So he loved that, and so did the staff and the students, because he brought out the best in everybody with maybe students were shy about reading, but they would read to the dog. They were, having a bad day, and he could lift that. He built relationships, and with the staff too. They would come on their break, they would come and have a visit with Havoc, and it was a wonderful thing. He did a lot for folks there. And so when Havoc passed on, my Border Collie Zip, she came and she started doing the same thing at the school, and I really loved it. And she did a great job, and the students could really focus with the dog. So like they may have trouble focusing on some things, but when they're working with the dog, I just loved watching it all come together. It's a great thing. And when they go in and they visit in the nursing home, they may get somebody to get up or to reach out and pat them and talk with them. Just, I love it. And so does everybody that we visit. Over the years, I've seen the difference that pet therapy makes in people's lives. You should see the buzz when we go into Pinecrest and Wigwas. We come in to sign in, and then you see people peeking out their doors. I just, it's great. Sorry, I got talking and forgot to show you these great pictures. So this is Havoc at the school in the library. And there's my Zippy. I'm a huge fan of Bell Let's Talk Day, so I'm always doing something about Bell Let's Talk Day. And so this was one of the years. And so Zip was greeting all the students as they were coming into school and free advice. It was so funny. It was a good time. So she loved reading with the students and working with them also. And and that's what these two will be doing before you know it, when they go into the school. And Janet, you had Scout, also certified therapy dog, and he did the same thing.
Yes.
And then we do our shows. So here's Elsie at the Pinecrest. They have a nice stage there, and we would perform. We go up and down the auditorium, and the residents will come in and watch, sing, clap, have a great time. And now we also do shows at Wigwas, and they have a beautiful patio out the back. So we were able to perform out in the back, and the folks come out in the fresh air. And well, here's Teddy and Tucker, two of our dogs that visit Wigwas. And we have P2. And the little puppy there is a foster. I'll take foster puppies in also to visit, and some puppies. And that's my LC there at Pinecrest. So a little bit about Therapeutic Paws of Canada programs. They have 6 programs, and there's more information in the handout also. But Paws with Love to Share, that's a dog and cat visitation program for senior facilities. And yes, there are cats too. I've even had one cat in my, it was virtual during COVID, but there was a cat in one of my classes. The Paws Room, that's visits to secondary schools, universities, colleges. Paws for Comfort, visitations with first responders, shelters, hospices, disaster sites, grief and loss support, school crisis support, victim service assistant programs. And then there's the support pet, specific requests from an organization on behalf of a client, such as victim assistance. And the support pet is to offer emotional support. Pause to read, and you saw Havoc in the school, children read to the dogs, and it's a relaxed atmosphere. And the Pawsibilities is for people of all ages to explore the full Pawsibility to reach their goals. Teams with occupational therapists, to professionals in the field to assist those with mental, physical, emotional, and trauma-induced disabilities. Therapeutic Paws of Canada is celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. They are a registered charity which permits the organization to issue tax receipts for donations, and then the donations are used to fund the expansion of their programming. It's a free volunteer-based pet therapy, like dogs and cats therapy, and they're certified. And then they can visit hospitals, long-term care, seniors facilities, schools, and wherever there is a need. Paws with Love to Share enhances the quality of life and health through the animal-human bond. Members are included in Therapeutic Paws of Canada's insurance, and they must submit a vulnerable sector police records check, reference check, and multiple monitored visits on behalf of TPOC. I forgot to move this along, sorry. So 2 directors are planning a visit to Kenora to certify 8 teams, handler dog teams, and 1 evaluator. And while in Kenora, they'll work with the leaders and the evaluator. So when they leave Kenora, there will be 8 teams ready to visit and 1 evaluator that can continue evaluating teams after they leave. And so I have attached a rough budget that it would cost for them to come here to evaluate the 8 teams as well as an evaluator. And then we can go. That's when then we reach out to, once we have the certified dogs, the hospital. Well, we are already in partnership with Pinecrest and Wigwas, but them also to get on board with this, because it provides a safe visiting opportunity, because we know that the dogs are certified, the handlers are also. They've had an interview, they've passed the evaluation, they've supplied the vulnerable sector check, and they've had monitored visits. So we reach out to organizations if they would like to participate, and then we also share with them an insurance certificate. So that everybody's covered by insurance that visit through Therapeutic Paws of Canada. And so we are hoping that the Rotary Club of Kenora would be interested in supporting Therapeutic Paws of Canada in Kenora and be part of this wonderful program that benefits everybody. It's inclusive. And if you're interested in having your dog certified or would like to be part of the team leads, so there will be a team of 3 or 4 people that lead in Kenora. So that's planning who we would visit, which organizations, and planning the testing and that sort of thing, and then an evaluator. So do you have any questions for me? Hi.
What does the evaluation consist of? Like, what are the criteria that a dog has to meet?
That's a really good question, and it is heavy. It's a lot. So, for example, these pups have been in training since they got their puppies. So basically, you want a well-mannered dog that's in control so they can walk on a loose leash down the hall. They go and greet with nice manners. They might sit, or even if they stand. So the test puts them through all that. They walk through a group of people. They have wheelchairs at the testing. They might have food out to see the dog's reaction to food. You pass other handlers. So, for example, these 2 teams in the test would come up to each other and talk, and then the dogs would behave in a manner where they're not jumping on each other and wrestling. So that's why they don't have testing until they're over 1 year of age. And lots of training. They need to be well groomed, and their nails done in good health, all their vaccinations up to date, and so the testing, they're looking for lots of criteria where they know that the dog can walk in, and then if they're asked to sit, they sit, and they know how to visit with people appropriately.
As a former member of the hospital board many years ago, we used to allow dogs to come into the hospital, and they had a terrific therapeutic value to the patients. Dogs crossed the boundaries to people without restriction. Fantastic. Dr. Beveridge was a firm believer he was coming in and turned the dog loose. It was wonderful. It drove the nurses wild, but there was one percent dog coming in, the kid was just magnificent. So I encourage you enormously, because the value of these dogs coming to people, especially when they're in the hospital or a place like Nursehill, is terrific. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Yes, it really does make a difference.
If I could just add on to that, Steve used to bring our dog to the jail. I would be nervous, but he says it calms him down. He didn't have to worry about the dog whatsoever. I brought, even though Rich is a little busy, I still brought him with a client or two of mine. I work with kids. And just the whole demeanor of the child just changes. And you can have a conversation with them, they're calm, you know, so it's, yeah, I love it.
Hi.
The three of us are representing a group of parents that are starting to project some planning for our adult children with intellectual disabilities, but we're not affiliated with an organization. So are you able to, does it have to be through like an already established institution, organization, or can you interact with some local groups on a?
Oh yes, I believe so, because when I was earlier today, I was speaking with the vice president of Therapeutic Paws of Canada, and we were having a chat about that, because I was even thinking about the Peace Park, right? Because that is a great place that you could go and visit with folks because of the whole atmosphere. And I think that in reading the information, and I will be getting more information, but that seems like a really good fit.
Okay.
Definitely. Like it was, like I think in the support pet and Paws for Comfort. Paws room, like it's fitting under, it's a very good fit. So we can connect about that.
And kind of the possibilities, because we have people with intellectual disabilities as well as varying degrees of physical disabilities too.
Yeah.
But again, not affiliated with one specific organization.
No, and yeah, so the possibilities, that sounds perfect.
Okay.
And so we can connect about that for sure. That's very, very good, and it will make a difference. Hi.
I think taking the dogs to the Peace Park is wonderful. My dog visits there quite often. But just out of respect, once the peace pole is in place, maybe keep the dogs away from it.
Yes. For sure. There will be rules about that. Usually wherever the dogs are working, they're accustomed to doing potty, that sort of thing, and then they work. So then they're in work mode, so that doesn't happen.
I already told Zoe she can't go anywhere near the pole.
That's good.
Come on, Greg, it's a natural function.
Hi.
I was also curious as to whether or not there are self-referrals. Do you go into homes at all?
Well, I am not sure about private homes, but that is something that we can look into for sure. Because I don't see that on here, but I am chatting with the vice president after, and we'll look into that. Because if it's through Therapeutic Paws of Canada, we just have to follow their guidelines.
It may be too overwhelming. I was asking that sort of as a past occupational therapist, whether or not that service is available, say if somebody's more still at home but could benefit from all
sounds
the
like
possibilities that you mentioned.
Yeah, because when you look at Pawsabilities, I think that is a good fit there. So I will definitely get back to you on that. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, how often, do you do certification, and what do you need to be part of that?
Okay, so we're looking at the fall, a cat, a dog. So we're looking at having the first set of evaluations here in the fall. Okay. So once we know we're going ahead, we'll post publicly that we're going to have evaluations here in Kenora, and they're looking at evaluating 8 teams at first, but if there are more, then we'd want more. We want more. Dogs and cat, yes?
No, you're on the right track. I was just in contact with Pinecrest about bringing a cat there, and they said no to allergies.
They did. Okay. Yeah. So then you look at, because everywhere you go, there may be people with allergies, and then you just make accommodations for that. You figure out, okay, where. So once we start with Therapeutic Paws of Canada at Pinecrest, we'll go through all the information, and if they're on board with Therapeutic Paws of Canada, then
They told me they were. They mentioned your name.
yeah.
I just didn't act on it. But now I'm here.
So yeah, that's great about the cat. So yeah, there's quite often allergies. So when you go into place, so you just make accommodations. So maybe you go to a different area of the building,
Right.
so that yeah.
So to get into the program, is there a certain breed or breeds that fit best, or is it just the temperament of a dog? And how old can they be in order, like, it's about training, right?
Yeah.
It's about the demeanor, it's about training. So really, any breed, any age?
Yeah, that's a great question. Any breed, any age, as long as they can pass the evaluation. And the good thing is that is on the website. So you can go and you can look at their website, and I put their website address on the sheet, I believe. And you can go and have a look at that, because there's a lot of work to do for the handler and the dog before they go to a test. Because the dogs really, and these are puppies, and they're doing great, and it's because of the work that their handlers have done with their puppies since they brought them home, and they knew that's what they wanted to do with their pups when they brought them home also. Yeah, so lots of work ahead of time, and then, but it's nice having a variety of sizes. Like in the little ones, like you can hold them, and that's what I do with the puppies usually. I bring them up like that. And then the great big dogs can just walk up and put their heads right on someone's lap or on the side of the bed. So, and then the different textures of the coats too are nice, because some people really like to touch them. So that's great too. Did I answer your question? Okay, thank you. Hi.
So, great, very interesting presentation. So if somebody was, not me, because I don't have a dog and don't want one, but if somebody did, like, is there supports to help them get their dog to that place within the Kenora?
Yeah, so there's different training options in Kenora. There's a couple of different training options, and I am a trainer in Kenora using the shaping positive reinforcement method. The Absolutely Positive is the name of my training. So we start with polite puppy or manners, depending on the age of the dog, and then advanced manners. So these two right here are in the advanced manners class that's starting this week, actually. And they're going to be put through a lot and lots of distractions and things like that. So yes, they can sit and they can lay down, but can they do that when a whole bunch of stuff is going and sounds are going off? Someone might open an umbrella. There might be like banging of dishes or loud music, a fire alarm. There might be a box of Kleenex sitting there or a teddy bear. So we go through all that. We practice all of that in the training, because when they go to the test, there isn't any practice. But they have an idea. They know what the testing is going to be, because it's full disclosure right on the website. So you can prepare.
So you train the trainer, or train the adult that's training the dog, and then it's just lifelong training after that.
Yeah, so it's really up to the handler how much time they put into their training, and then they decide if this is something that they want to do. Some dogs are just really natural. They just don't jump, or like they just really chill. Like the dog I just met, he's 7 years old, and I said, I think he should go visit him, because he's perfect. He's really fluffy and everything. So yeah, there's work to it to prepare them, for sure.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask for last
Any more
couple of
questions?
questions.
How long is that whole training to get certified in timelines?
Oh, for the certification, for when they come here to do the testing, it's 1 day.
know how long does it take that you've worked with people to get?
Oh, it depends again on how much time people put into it.
Okay.
It's all about their relationship with their dog and how much time they have to train, because it might not take long at all, or it could take like, because these two, like, they're not old enough to do it, but they could walk in and do it because of the time that their owners have spent with them.
Is a cat that's already, I think, there going to be certified quicker, or are they certifying cats too?
Yeah, it's for dogs and cats. I think it would be amazing if there was a cat, but
We got the cat.
you got the cat?
We got the cat.
Okay, you have to send me a message on that. Yeah, that's great. Hi.
The obvious difference though between training a cat and training a dog, because dogs are so compliant, but how does one train a cat?
Right, and I've seen, because I had a cat in one of my classes last winter, and it was amazing. So, and it was the Trilight Theater School for Pets class, and the cat, so the owner researched on how to train their cat, and it was basically the same, click and treat. Click and treat. It's really neat. So there are resources out there, and I can send them over to you if you message me.
We shut, because you have to leave shortly. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Final, one more question.
Or observation,
Sorry?
or observation,
Yeah.
talk about size of dogs, like going back, I'm dating myself, but again, going back to the time we took a lot of dogs in the hospital. But also, as a former minister, I would take my dog, but it was a Great Dane.
Wow.
Thing comes in, but people know that's okay. They sense the dog is a great big suck, and it comes in and they just love it. But you have to, as the owner, you have to be aware of what are particular things that might set it off. And the thing that set the dog off, be aware of a person with a balloon. Because the dog, a balloon is, geez, so but you anticipate it, no problem.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. I'm still of the opinion that the dogs actually train the owners. They just go along with the training. Give me the impression. Yeah.
It is a relationship. Yes, it is. And if you have questions, did I put my email? Yeah. Please.
Okay, I'm going to call on Sheila Reid to close off the presentation, and thank you.
So I want to thank Tammy and her team for coming out, and the lovely TJ and Teddy to give us some therapy today, because I think just the presence of any animal either calms you or it creates anxiety. I guess if you're scared of animals, I don't understand that side. But I just want to thank you. I think the project, having that in Kenora, we're seeing more and more mental health from young children to our seniors, and the more we have animals that can change lives, because that's what they're doing, they're changing lives.
They are.
And so this is a wonderful opportunity to have this program in Kenora, and I want to thank you for spearheading that and bringing that.
Thank you.
I've worked with Tammy as well with Dogs Life, and I've learned a lot from Tammy when I've volunteered to bring dogs into her training. And it's amazing. It's amazing the work that can be done on any temperament. I've only met one dog that they deemed untrainable, but train at any age. Again, it's the relationship with the owner and the dog.
It's all relationship, and using a positive method really makes it.
Reward for everything they do well.
Yep.
So on behalf of Rotary, we do have, we make a donation to our foundation, which pays us back through grants and community. So we do that when we have our speakers come in to present to us as our way of giving back to community as you are giving to community. And we have 7 areas that we do cover. And children and seniors are certainly covered in our areas of learning. I will get a certificate for you to thank you as well.
Thank you.
I just don't have it here with me today. But on behalf of Rotary, everybody, I'd like to thank Tammy and the other volunteers that have come in to share today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.